right, good morning to you. Welcome to our new week. This is Kakaaki Social. Now, let's see what has been in the news every time of this weekend. Look at 3 women linked to 84.1 billion naira fraud in 5 years old humanitarian ministry. Now, 5-year-old humanitarian ministry is because the ministry is not as old as every other one, because it was just, it came into being in the second tenure of former President Muhammadu Buhari. Women topping the news right here. Now, the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has pledged to decisively punish the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Betta Edu, if after a thorough investigation she's found guilty of all she's been accused of lately. Now, there have been calls to have the minister displaced, and this is over a leaked memo of Betta Edu instructing the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Maiden, to pay 585 million naira into the private bank account of a project accountant in a ministry who is Bridget Oniyelu. And then it was said to be for vulnerable groups in 5 states, or 4, Akwa Ibom, Cross River State, Ogun, and then in Lagos State. Well, she's denied this, and she said this is the word painting me black. And then the Accountant General also claims that the request wasn't honored when they got it in December last year, 2023. Now, the latest is even the approval of flight ticket of 200,000 naira each for 7 persons to fly to Kogi State. Now, the thing here is that Kogi has no airport, and that's been the concern for netizens. Let's see how you reacted. This user said, just within 6 months, what will happen in 4 years? And more thought from Emmanuel. He says, the truth is there is plenty more of such fraudulent practices in government. Betta Edu's coming to light may just be a result of falling out with the PAMSEC or other ministry staff. Shockingly, such ill-orchestrated abuses by appointees are the norm rather than the exception. And then for Giwa Bowl, it says, sincerely, apart from the flight ticket, Abuja to Kogi, which ordinarily should have been done by using coastal buses to transport the advanced team and the HM team, there is nothing wrong with these expenses. 60 million naira out of this 72.3 million naira was actually given to Kogi beneficiaries, maybe being a witness right there. For Onoshiorena, it says, so chartering, I take this as for C, it says chartering an helicopter or small shuttle plane cannot land in Kogi State. Now, so the state's more rich, or taking any of those two cannot be classified as flight. Well, a question there. Ada Anambra, one of our appointees in the ministry, has also been making a case for her, and she's labeled all of this news, fake news, fake news, fake news on the space of social media. Well, let's see. Presidency has ordered investigation into this. Let's see what will be the outcome of this, and if indeed the president would work with all he's been saying about accountability and transparency. Well, let's go over to more stories. Now, after losing his senatorial election as an outgoing governor and failing to support the presidential candidate of his party in the 2023 election, a former governor of Benue State, Samuel Ortom, has made about his first appearance at a public function. Ortom speaking in Rivers State at the luncheon hosted by the leader of the PDP G5 Govs and the minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, disclosed that they've resolved to ensure President Bola Ahmed Tinubu remains in Aso Rock as the president come 2027. Now, even though personal choices seem to have separated the 5 of them before election, you remember that Peter Obi was in same class with Benue governors at that time, Samuel Ortom, and then Nyesom Wike was loud about the president, now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's insisting that all they wanted was a southern president, and they were successful at that. Let's go to Rivers State and listen to Ortom.
So I want all of us to support, irrespective of our party affiliation. Let us work, because Nigeria cannot exist when we have no Nigeria. But if we work to ensure that Bola Ahmed succeeds, there will be tomorrow for anybody to even contest election at all. Our leader Governor Nyesom Wike have already made a declaration that in 2027 we are supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have nowhere to go because that is what Nigerians believe. Even the past administration that took Nigeria from top to bottom, we allowed them to work for 8 years. So why can't a seasoned administrator, a seasoned politician, in the person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to rule us for 8 years? And I believe by the 8 years, we shall get out of this wood. The security challenges we have will be out of it. The economic problems we have will be out of it. And all the social problems we have, by the grace of God, we shall be out of it.
All right, so that was Samuel Ortom in Rivers State. It was 3 of them that were present, 3 over 5 of them. Wike was the host, of course. That was him speaking with Obozeghie, and he says Makinde is still away on vacation with his family. And then the former Abia State Governor, Obozeghie, was having his son's wedding that same yesterday, that Saturday. Now, Balogun says, word of wisdom for those that can decipher if PDP can still not gather party loyalists months after election to have family meetings, it is a pity. And then Honorable NOE says, this is what career politicians do. Zero shame. As a politician, you must have integrity at least. Must you find a way to be relevant, get a job, or you run a business and leave politics for a while. And Humbo Olu says, putting politics above public interest. Why can't he wait and allow Nigerians decide based on his performance? This is too early. And then for Frank, he thinks that it is the fear of the EFCC, and he just says, fear of EFCC is the beginning of wisdom. Well, you remember that just when the current governor of Benue State took over office, there were allegations of fraud against Governor Ortom, so maybe that's what the last user was talking about. And here, there's been a competition of rice sharing in Rivers State. We learned that it started with Sim Fubara, and then Nyesom Wike soon, in fact, he did times 20 of what his successor did. So let's see if this fight, who is going to win this fight. And just to mention that he wasn't at the luncheon by his predecessor while it was held in Rivers State. And now to the big elephant in the room. This is Deborah Lovett at DBC. You may have seen her. This is simply Debbie or MumZee on the space, MumZee on the space of social media. Now, it's been a long story. So what happened? Let's see. Someone tweeted this saying that there is a lady that wakes up at 5 a.m. to make her husband lunch for work. Apparently, she was displeased, judging with the emoji that she attached. But then MumZee says, I've always been too lazy to wake up and get his lunch ready. But the day he told me a colleague brought 2 spoons so he will eat with her was the day I set my alarm for 4:50 a.m. Now, this was the gist. Let's see some reactions before God came in, if I have to put it that way. Now, Flora says, I feel shame. Is it that your husband is a hungry man that cannot afford his lunch, that his colleague has to bring spoon from her house for him to eat, or is a notorious beggar, and you are so dull, dull in capital letter? Now, Ijinle says, waking up at 4 a.m. is not the issue. Anything you can do to make your partner's life easier is definitely great, but feeling the need to start doing that because you are threatened that someone else offered them something, now, how many offers are you willing to match? That was it, and this is Debbie's husband, who just made it to the internet this weekend too. Now, from that, let me tell you what has happened so far. That's how I bought my daughter. She's gotten dining set, she's gotten hair attachment for 1 whole year, health insurance for 1 year, suffer for family values. They said she's promoting family values with what she did. They've also got too much for her apartment right now, and they're planning to move out, and someone has gotten them 2-bedroom apartment. Now, they've provided solar for the new home. Sunday porch, in the next slide, you will see that they have featured her story. Now, they've doubled her money. The bank she was using, they asked her to drop an account number, she did, and the bank has doubled the money. So at that time, she had over 2 million naira, and the bank thought to double it for her. Now, they were searching her profile. You know, Twitter is for drags, so they were searching her profile to see if she has ever begged, and they found out that one of her wishes for December 2023 was to have a bedside fridge, and then for 80,000 naira, and then a mattress for 185,000 naira, all of them, but she preferred the fridge to the mattress because she had mattress. But now she's gotten a freezer, a blender, microwave, new mattress, AC. According to the person who donated, it says AC to keep the house cool, just so your head doesn't go hot. She's gotten phone brands, data, phones, airtime. Even NNPC has given her 200,000 naira voucher for PMS in any of the outlets that is closest to her. Now, bed frame, of course, they've recommended her for a virtual assistant role, job for her husband, scholarship abroad to study data analysis. She's been preaching that her husband is an excellent person in mathematics, since that's what he even teaches at the moment. So they said, okay, since he knows maths, he will be excellent at data analysis. And then they've gotten admission, scholarship abroad for 2 of them. Auntie Esther is another woman that God helped on the space of social media. She was also mocked, and then God came in for her too. Auntie Esther sent foodstuff. Now, cable network with 1 year subscription. They've gotten laptop, iPhones to begin his tech journey. I'm flipping my jotter because it's quite long. Now, NITSA, 2 laptops, 1 year internet for 2, as part of efforts to encourage women in tech. She's gotten legal services as well, just for anything. I mean, the list is long. And someone even donated canes just in case any student ever stresses the husband in class. And that was on a lighter note. I'm not sure they've been able to get a car, but someone donated tires for them. Visa to Canada for 2 years for 2 of them as well. And it's been excellent on the space of social media. Well, that's the story of Debbie MumZee on the space of social media. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I'll see you again.